We left Savitri carrying an impossible burden. According to the ancient prophecy, she has exactly 1 year to live with her husband, Satyavan, before he dies. This is a fixed, unavoidable point in time. This document is a draft page for Book 10, Canto 4. Sri Aurobindo spent decades drafting these lines, turning a mythological poem into a literal architectural blueprint. It details exactly how human consciousness can be hacked to resist a cosmic decree. On the surface, Savitri maintains a quiet routine. She sweeps the floors of the forest hermitage and tends to Satyavan's exiled parents. Inside, however, her mind is paralyzed. She is secretly tracking every passing day, suffocating under the weight of her impending grief. The text makes a stark observation here. Human love, no matter how fierce or devoted, is useless against the mechanical laws of nature. You cannot bargain with mortality using affection. In the depths of this despair, a divine voice interrupts her mind. It issues a direct command: stop weeping, look inward, and find the hidden core of your being. To defeat a law of the universe, you have to operate outside of it. Savitri realizes she must shed every mortal limitation, disassemble her own psychology, and master the inner architecture of the spirit. She begins by descending into what the poem calls the inner countries. Immediately, she has to push past the chaotic surface mind, a crowded, noisy mob of basic biological drives, stray thoughts, and petty ego. Breaking through that noise, she encounters the triple soul forces. First is the Mother of Sorrows. This archetype embodies humanity's boundless pity. She is the part that absorbs the pain of the world and cries out for relief. Next, she meets the Mother of Might, representing sheer willpower, rebellion, and the drive to conquer. Finally, she faces the Mother of Light, the embodiment of pure reason, philosophy, and intellectual wisdom. But Savitri rejects all of them. In their human forms, compassion, willpower, and intellectual wisdom are tied to the ego. They are fragmented tools. If she relies on them, she will fail. Pushing past these flawed archetypes, she reaches a wall of doorless, living fire. Stepping through it, she finally enters her deepest hidden sanctuary. Sri Aurobindo describes a dormant, coiled energy, a flaming serpent, rising from the base of the body, sequentially igniting nodes of higher consciousness. Once it hits the crown, it expands outward, forming an unbroken connection between physical matter and the infinite eternal. In this state, the human ego is completely dissolved. Her personal desires, her fears, and her individual personality are wiped clean, leaving her as an empty, perfect vessel. Savitri now acts as a high-functioning instrument of divine power, her consciousness fully weaponized for the coming confrontation. With her ego born, Savitri achieves nirvana. Sri Aurobindo calls this the all-negating absolute, a state of utter, formless emptiness where the universe simply ceases to matter. The temptation here is immense. It is perfectly peaceful. She could remain in this detached silence forever, permanently escaping the friction and suffering of the physical world. But the divine voice returns with a piercing question. If the goal was simply to escape the physical world, why bother being born at all? Personal salvation does nothing for a suffering mortal race. Looking at this diagram, we see exactly what Savitri chooses instead. She abandons the isolated emptiness of nirvana, and her consciousness explodes outward into cosmic consciousness. She internalizes the pulse of every star, every tree, and every human heartbeat into her own being. In the framework of integral yoga, the ultimate achievement is the descent of supreme power into the material world, transforming physical reality rather than abandoning it. The vast spiritual journey snaps abruptly back to physical reality. It is the exact morning the 1-year prophecy matures. Savitri sits in the dim light of the forest hermitage, watching Satyavan sleep. The paralyzing human fear from a year ago is gone. She looks at him with the tranquil, infinite perspective of the universe itself. A cold, immense presence fills the room. The shadow of death has physically manifested at the edge of the bed, arriving precisely on time to claim its prize. The year of preparation is over. The mortal grief has been stripped away. Now, the clash between the mechanics of death